Coming to you live from my couch this time around. Had a shenanigator, Eric. You guys are my dedicated fans, dedicated listeners, so thanks for joining. And good old Jim. Maybe it's that time of the day, I don't know. I had planned on doing a periscope earlier today, just never got around to it. Ironically, I was actually busy today, so I might get some shaking around here. I'm holding the phone instead of having it up on a little tripod, so we're gonna make it work. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Sean. Cabs, welcome. I am a acute care nurse practitioner. I have been a nurse for over 10 years and had a conversation with a student, short conversation. It was about how people learn, or what's the best way to study. Kind of prompted me to think about how different everybody learns. Excuse me. I remember in high school, or maybe it was in college, that you take this standardized exam, or you take this standardized questionnaire, and it tells you what kind of a learner you are. Senior nursing student, last semester, congrats. Welcome to the club. Almost there. So that means you graduate in like May, right? Good for you. Hope you have a job in your sights. May 7th. I know I had a countdown. Do you have a countdown? Do you have the number of days? Maybe the number of hours? I know I did. Mary, welcome. Yep, 175. Yep. Some things don't change in nursing school. So, talking about what type of learner you are, and this standardized questionnaire that you took would tell you whether or not you're, I think there was 5 types or 3 types of learners, and I'm sorry that I don't remember what those types are. All I remember is that I was, oh my, from France, welcome, is that I was a visual learner. Even though, welcome, Romka. Do we have more people from Russia again? I learned better with visual cues, meaning pictures, graphs, arrows, drawing things into some sort of a story. Ergo, well, I'm a storyteller. Lo and behold, storyteller who's been a blogger. So other people are very technical learners, meaning that written word or verbally listening to something, and then they acquire the knowledge, they acquire the information that way. And then there's a third type of learner. I think it's just a mix of both. The whole point of this is that you need to determine what kind of a learner you are so that you can study effectively for whatever it is you're studying for. Talking to my nursing students out there, so ultimately it's the NCLEX is the end game there, but you obviously have to pass all of your exams while you're in nursing school, everything from basic physical assessment to anatomy and physiology, pharmacology, fluid and electrolytes, psychology, psychiatry, take your pick. They're all out there. You're going to have to take all kinds of wonderful exams. And in each one of those areas, you're going to have to figure out how you learn the best. A couple things that you want to keep in mind. First thing is, how well are you a learner? Are you visual? Like Jim, and Jim, you're like me. I'm a visual person. I too would use colored pens, colored pencils. I actually wrote my notes out on graph paper so that I could write a concept, and then I could draw arrows, and I could use stencils to make squares and circles, and I made it pretty. And I would actually have a couple versions of my notes when I did write down my notes, so that when it came time to actually pull that stuff out of the back of my brain, Sasha, welcome, I would think about what I saw on the paper. What did I see visually? Did I see arrows? Were the letters a certain way? Was there a certain color scheme? Where was it actually visually on the paper itself? I'm a big proponent, supporter of PowerPoint lectures using visual cues versus PowerPoint lectures that is just sentence after sentence after sentence after sentence. That I don't learn that way. I fall asleep that way. So first thing is you want to figure out what kind of learner you are. I'm a visual learner. Second thing you need to determine is how do you consume information? How are you the most efficient? Meaning, are you the kind of person that can, yes, death by PowerPoint, we've all been there, Jim. Are you the kind of person that can sit in front of your material, computer screen, notes, audio recorder, take your pick? Can you sit in front of it and binge study for a whole day for Stone Cold Steve Austin? Apparently I'm being called Stone Cold Steve Austin. That brings up a very funny story many years ago. So can you consume a lot of information in a short amount of time? Or do you want to consume your information in pieces? So are you going to study for what they call the Pomodoro Method, which is you study for a set amount of time, then you take a break. You study for a set amount of time, then you take a break. And you can do that however you want to set that up. For me, it was always 30 on, 10 off, 30 on, 10 off. Or, you could do it an hour on and 20 off. Take your pick. But the idea is that you want to give your brain a break. Whereas some other people are more of a binge kind of person. Sorry guys, having some technical difficulties there. And then the third thing you want to think about when you're thinking about when you're studying is, are you someone that is better at studying by yourself or better with studying in groups? And I kind of walked down the fence on that one. There were times when I wanted to study by myself and focus on certain aspects, and there were times when I wanted to study in a group, and I found benefits from both scenarios. So you want to kind of experiment with that and figure out what's best for you. Usually everybody starts out by studying alone or studying with a partner, and then maybe in one of your classes you realize that the information is so overwhelming and there's so much information that you have to cover that you probably could cover it better if you did it in groups. The first time I ever had a group study session was when I was in my basic nursing school, which was 12, 13, 14 years ago. And I had fought it tooth and nail and then decided I'll give it a try, did the group studying thing, and it was the greatest thing since sliced bread because I learned so much more and I honestly had a much better time. Caveat being is that if you're going to be part of a study group, make sure that you're actually studying and not socializing. So some of the pieces of information that I have to pull from the back of my brain when I'm out on the floors practicing, I still remember the first time I heard it, which was in one of the study groups that I had way back when. So 3 things to keep in mind when you have to determine what kind of a learner you are. Are you a visual learner like me? Are you a binge studier that you can do it all in one shot? Would not recommend that. And do you like studying alone or do you like studying in groups? The other thing you want to think about with studying in general, and this is just another polite suggestion, is that you should do it every day. Do something every day, something small, instead of procrastinating and letting it build up for days or weeks and then trying to cram it all in, because in the world of nursing, in our profession, cramming stuff down your brain is not beneficial to you in any way. All you're basically doing is temporarily shoving it in your brain so that maybe you can get a good grade on your test, but you're not acquiring knowledge, you're not absorbing the knowledge for the next exam. Because guess what? The profession of nursing, the program of nursing, nursing school, is cumulative. Everything builds upon what you just learned. So what you learned in year 1, you're going to need in year 4. That's a good plan there. So study for 3 days, study alone, and then 3 days before the test you study with groups. That's actually a very good plan. Great suggestion there. I'm gonna have to remember that. Now you got to make sure that you got to have the time and the scheduling parameters for that to happen. But that's a great plan. Kudos to you. So, for those of you who don't follow me or don't know about me, look me up, SeanDent.com. And as always, check your own pulse first.